Hello, everyone. Welcome back to AML Incubator's weekly vlog. We spent a lot of time on this channel talking about everything from regulatory environments to threat vectors to compliance strategies. But today we're going to kind of zoom out and talk about the story of AMLI itself. I'm David Beckett, Head of Sales and Partnerships.
And I'm Haik Kazarian. I'm Chief Business Development Officer. And when David and I joined AML Incubator, David came with a deep industry experience. I came with almost no industry experience, just about 24 years of sales experience. But today's guest has been there from the very beginning, from the foundation, since day one.
That's right. So we're joined by Stella, our Chief Operating Officer, who's been at AMLI, like Haik said, since the very beginning and built it from the very beginning to the powerhouse AMLI is today. Welcome to the vlog, Stella.
Hi guys, hello. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm actually super excited because I guess we have never spoke about how AMLI started and about our first years. So I'm super excited. Let's do it.
Great. So Stella, I want you to take us back to the very beginning. Every company starts with a problem it's trying to solve. So what was kind of in your mind the original gap in the compliance market space that sparked the creation of AMLI? And where were those first couple of years for you and for AMLI?
Thank you so much for the question, David. So I guess the original idea, it was super simple. Probably Tigran would be the best person to answer the question. But from my perspective, as I see, we actually have seen a lot of great businesses in fintech and financial sphere. They knew how to do their work. They really understood their product. They knew their customers. But when it comes to compliance, I guess it's a super different world for them. And probably especially for startups, for small businesses, for companies who is not involved in that a lot and who just started being operational or who just starting being operational. This is actually where AMLI steps in. And I guess it's super important to speak a bit about the name AML Incubator. Incubator in AML Incubator, it's super intentionally because let's think of it as a newborn. So newborns have incubators just basically to have their environment during their first steps. And in the early stages, this is super important. It helps them to breathe. And this is exactly what we do for companies in compliance field. So we just incubate the companies into compliance. I guess it's super important for the companies who just started their journey just to have someone for who you can come and ask for the help, because sometimes getting a personal compliance department could be very expensive. It can take a lot of time, and sometimes you don't even know from what to start. And this is exactly where AML Incubator steps in, and we do help companies to just start their journey.
Right. Okay. So, like building something from scratch in a field that's heavily regulated, there's a lot of high stakes. There's just the industry itself. It's anti-money laundering, anti-terrorist financing, finding bad actors. So, looking back at these early days, what was the biggest challenge or the biggest hurdle that you guys faced to prove yourself in the market?
I would say that the biggest challenge was working with Tigran. No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. Seriously, I guess in the very beginning, the most complicated part was understanding that it was just Tigran and me, and that's it. There was no one else with us. There were people who was coming and going, but at the end of the day, it was just two of us, and there were no different departments in our company, no one else who you can just rely on, just to delegate some tasks to. We've been working in different departments. We've been starting from compliance itself and doing biz dev, we've been doing finance, we've been doing operations, communicating with clients. And I guess this is probably the most complicated part in the very beginning.
So what you said was right, is working with Tigran. You said it was a joke, but it wasn't really. No, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, this is every startup journey, right? You start
Yeah.
with a small team, maybe two people, maybe even one, and really kind of getting things, growing. And it's always interesting to see that path. But I think with compliance, it's an even more unique story, right? Because this industry requires so much trust from your clients, from your partners, from everybody else involved in the process. So, Stella, from your perspective, having watched every phase of this kind of evolution, the growth of the company, what was like the key turning point for AMLE when it shifted from just being an ambitious kind of startup to what it is today, a serious player in the compliance space?
I don't think there was one specific day when we woke up and it's like, oh, we made it. Now we're a big company. No, this is not how it was. I guess our growth was very natural. We had it step by step. And for me, the most important thing is that our clients stayed with us. And I guess it's super important to mention that we still have clients who are still with us from the very first day of AML Incubator. It's super important. They trust us, they're coming to us, they bring in new businesses to us. It's super important to understand that through all these years, they're still with us and they trust our experience. I guess this is it.
Okay. And so as the firm grew, AML Incubator has become a pretty big player. We've done a few hockey sticks. So the market itself has been shifting very rapidly. So there's new tech, there's crypto that came in, global regulatory shifts. How did AML Incubator adapt during that growth phase, right? To stay ahead of the curve rather than just like reacting to it. How has this whole thing been adapted to?
Oh, I guess one thing we learned very easily is that in this industry, you can never be too comfortable and you always need to be in the loop. You always need to be up to date because regulations change, technologies change, AI is changing the game technically, and clients are entering new markets. And I guess we had a few real big growth during all these years in AMLE, and we had some situations when we had too many clients, too many new contracts at the same time, some changes in the regulations. And I guess the most important thing for us in this part is just to understand that we need to get better, to need to know how to get better very quickly, and to be able to adapt to the new situations, to the new regulations. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, it's an evolving industry. I know I've been in it many years and you just see it's constantly growing, and the firms that survive are actually the ones that are constantly adopting and adapting and coming up with new solutions and ways to take care of their clients. And the compliance and consulting and managed services space is quite crowded. I mean, there are legacy giants, there are boutique services, there's now a bunch of so-called software-only solutions for compliance. When you look at AMLE's kind of core DNA, let's say the secret sauce, what makes us genuinely different from anyone else out there?
I guess our clients, I would say, like the moment that our clients are staying with us and they're staying with us just because Tigran, CEO of AML Incubator, always loves to say, once AMLE client, always AMLE client. And this is totally true. I guess we have a lot of clients who just came to us. We did one service for them. They left, but they knew they can always come to us. They can always rely on us and they can just come to us with a question. They don't need to sign a contract to ask something about compliance, or sometimes they're just coming not to ask compliance questions, just to ask something to us. They can just simply reach out and that's enough. They don't need to do anything for it, and we're always in touch. We're always happy to help. I guess this is our secret sauce, as you said, David.
And it's interesting because this probably drives Haik and myself nuts because every time we're providing free advice and helping people out, we're always thinking, okay, that should be a customer, that should be work. We should be getting something for it. But I think it's also right that, once you're in the Emily family, you're, always going
Yeah,
to be
you're there
treated
for
like.
good. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a difference like every day in business development. Like clients come to us sometimes because they want a partner who actually understands like the real world friction of building a business while staying actually compliant. And this is how I always say, we take away the pain of having to worry about compliance. And it's not just someone that's going to come in and read from a textbook and check mark and put the stuff. We grow with the company. I guess you would agree with that. Yes, though?
Absolutely, Haik. You're totally right. I guess it's super important part of our job, and I don't think that compliance can exist in a vacuum. If you're in compliance, you always need to be in loop. Yes, you're totally right.
So, Stella, looking ahead, let's look at kind of the future of Emily. What excites you most about, let's say, the trajectory, where the company's going, the things that we're doing?
It's a super nice questions, and I guess the next steps, the next years will be about the scale. And I don't mean like just getting grower and bigger just to be bigger. No, this is not how Amli works. This is not about us. I would say that, in my opinion, the scale is should be with the same quality of our teamwork, with the same professionals. I mean, we can't just have like thousands of new clients and thousands of new employees and just not knowing the names of the clients, just not knowing what are we doing. I guess this is more about this having the same approach as we do now, because for each client we have a personal approach. We're trying to help each client with a very special way. And this is what makes Amli Amli. And I guess this is what we need to have during all the way of AML Incubator. This is super
The
important.
moon.
Yes.
Stella, thanks very much, for taking the time to share the story of AML Incubator. It is inspiring to see the trajectory. And David and I, we're always proud to work in this company. We are pushing some very good things out into the world. So it's going to be really cool as we drive the next phase of growth alongside you, Tigran, and the rest of the team.
Yeah, I totally agree, Heike. I'm excited. We can tell from the other conversations that we've had along the way that this is a special space. This is a special company, and the way we handle our clients and our expertise, experience, but also the environment that we provide not only for our employees, but for the customers is really special. So I want to thank you, Stella, again for your time with us today. And thanks for everyone for tuning in. If you want to learn more about Omni, you can always look us up, leave a message, contact Heike or myself. We've got contacts on our webpage as well. And we want to announce and make sure that everybody knows that we are running a program right now for free registration, licensing, and registration alongside Camlo Services with Canada and the US. So if you are a new fintech or a new startup, or you're looking to expand your market and you're entering Canada or the US, come to us. We'll take care of the headache of the registration, and then we'll do all of the other steps that are necessary to make sure that your business is successful, compliant, and gets off to a great start. Thank you again, Stella, and we look forward to seeing everyone in the next vlog.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It was super nice to sit here and speak about Amli. I hope in a couple of years we will have the same YouTube video speaking about how small Amli was that time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stella.